Video 2, we will continue with the process of performance appraisal. So here we have to establish performance standard, second communicate the standard to the employee, measure the performance, compare the information with predetermined standards, discuss the results of appraisal with employee, and we have to make corrections whenever it is required. Okay, so under that headings we will see. So when we say the process, these are all the various steps that has to be included when we follow the performance appraisal. So here first one is we have to establish performance standards. So for certain kind of policies or objectives that has to be set, criteria. Okay, so it should be clear and objective should be attainable, and it should be given in writing, and it should be discussed with the supervisors. So what all can be included when it comes to personal appraisal, okay, performance appraisal, so that has to be discussed with the superior. Next, personal characteristics, which includes work quality, how honest this person is he reliable, is he working with the team, whether there is teamwork, cooperation, knowledge of the job, do they are they ready to learn new things, give away old things which is not beneficial, adaptability, are they able to adapt themselves in the work environment, their attendance, how is their attendance, are they taking simply leave, are they regular at work, are they showing interest in the work, sense of responsibility, accountability is there or not with them. Okay, and health condition, so it should be carefully designed and printed. So all these whatever are being expected should be precisely written in the form when they are going to do the personal appraisal. Next, communicate the standards, should be specified. So whatever you are writing, you are setting the objectives, it should be told to them that these are all the areas where they will be assessed for. So it should be specified to employees and the evaluators who are going to evaluate. Employee will come to know what is expected from them, so automatically they will try to bring out the best that they can. Acceptance of standards to employees, so they receive feedback and modify if necessary. So as they get to know, and then what do is they accept these standards, and then they also receive the feedback and try to modify whenever necessary. So if the employee says no, this standard is not up to the mark, okay, so you should give us little flexible, then based on that feedback, if it can be rectified or it can be modified, then it has to be modified. Next, measure the performance. So we have to choose a technique what we are going to use for measurement, then find out internal and external factors that actually affects the performance. Then collect information. How do we collect? By observation, through their records, face-to-face contact. It can happen through interview. Then we have to, fourth step is compare the information with predetermined standards. So we have to do the comparison and reveal with actual standard forms. These are the things that is expected, and these you have been exhibited. Okay, so that has to be notified. Okay, and then deviation, negative, positive, and also tell them whether you have deviated to negative or you have deviated to positive, whether there is any positive feedback or negative feedback. Then discuss the result of appraisal. So enable individual they should know their weakness and strength, motivate them. And the last one, the sixth step is make corrective action. So it can be identified waves. How can we actually, if the performance is negative, it is totally deviated to negative, then we can give them training again, coaching should be given, counseling, then initiate the identified ways to improve performance. So these are the various steps that is included. First step is establish performance standard. Then we have to communicate that standard to the employee. Then we have to measure the performance, measure performance with actual standard, compare, and then discuss the result, take corrective action. So these are all the process of performance appraisal. Next we will see problems in performance appraisal. So what are the various problems? Sometimes it can lead to error in rating. Okay, so under error itself you have various types which we will be studying. So there is about 6 types. So first one is halo effect, second one stereotyping, third one central tendency, fourth one constant error, fifth personal bias, sixth spillover effect. We will see what it is. Then secondly we see lack of reliability, thirdly incompetence, negative approach, multiple objective, resistance, and lack of knowledge. So you again have a diagram, so you can go through the diagram by hearted, and you should be able to explain in your own words. Okay, so when we are trying to do the assessment. So there are common that there can be errors that can happen. So we will see what are the various errors. Halo effect. So it is a tendency to rate an employee consistently high or low on the basis of overall impression. So when they are assessing based on the overall impression, there are chances for them to assess them with high, so maybe the performance level is only 60%, but as an error they can show that this person is performing 95% well. Or if he is performing at 60%, we say that no, this person is performing only at the level of 20%. Either we rate it high or either we rate it low. Okay, on trade of the employee influences the rater's appraisal and all other traits. For example, an employee may be rated high on performance just because he sits on the job late in the evening. Similarly, a person who does not have regularly may be considered lazy at work and may be underrated. So this error may be minimized by rating all the employees on trade before taking up another triad. So sometimes what happens is, if a person is sitting for a longer time and working, we tend to believe that he is doing his best. Okay, or sometimes we fail, telling that if a person is sitting for a long and doing hard work, we say that he is lazy. Okay, so it can lead to halo effect. Okay, so a person who does not regularly have considered lazy at work may be underrated. So a person who finished early also, sometimes we might think that okay, this person has not done well. So these prejudices should be removed. So that is halo effect, either high or low than their own potential. Either we give them high rating or low rating, okay, not based upon the actual potential of a person. Next, stereotyping. This implies forming a mental picture of a person on the basis of his age, sex, caste, religion. It results in oversimplified views and blurs the assessment. Stereotyping is, oh, he belongs to this particular category of religion, so he should be automatically very intelligent. Okay, or if a person based on the sex, okay, this person is a male, so he should be able to give you the best. Based on such stereotype, when they do the performance, it leads to error. Next, central tendency. It means assigning average rating to all the employee in order to avoid commitment or involvement. So we feel that I can't do, for all 60 of you, I cannot do performance appraisal. So I will just say everybody are average. That is giving central tendency. As a result, the ratings are clustered around the midpoint. So they just want to give average rating. They don't want to do performance appraisal for everyone. Okay, so they just give like that, telling that all are okay. So not assessing properly. Constant error. So some evaluators tend to be lenient while others are strict. Some will be very lenient, some will be strict in assessing performance. In first case, performance is overrated, leniency error. So what they will do, they are very lenient. Person is capable to get only 40%, they give him 70%. So that is called as leniency error. While in the second type is underrated, strictness error. When the person has to get 60, they give him only 40. That is strictness error. This tendency may be avoided by holding meetings so that the raters understand what is required for them. So proper training has to be given to the evaluator itself to evaluate the performance appraisal. Next, personal bias. As I told you, based on religion, region, habits, their culture, language. Okay, so performance appraisal may become invalid because of a rater dislikes or an employee. So person does not like that he belongs to a particular religion. So you do not do the appraisal properly. That is personal bias. Or maybe, you don't like the way he speaks or his culture or the way he dresses up. Okay, so what happens, you don't like that person personally. So based on that, you start evaluating. Bias may also be the result of time. Recent experience or first impression of the rater may affect the evaluation. Next, spillover effect. This arises when past performance affects assessment of present. For instance, recent behavior or performance of an employee may be used to judge him. Spillover effect is nothing but, oh, last time I evaluated this person, he didn't do well. So that would be the same performance this time also. So that is called as spillover effect. Maybe the person didn't do well, but wait, there could be a change and we can see that how well he has improved. Okay, so these are all the various errors. So the first error, halo effect, stereotyping, central tendency, constant error, personal bias, spillover effect. Next we will go lack of reliability. So reliability is tested for the tool, right? So if you use a performance appraisal for everybody, it should try to bring out the same kind of result, which should be able to assess their potential. Okay, reliability means stability and consistency. So we will be using for different people. So we should be able to identify accurately in the measurement. Lack of consistency over time and among different raters may reduce the reliability of a performance appraisal. If the tool is not reliable, then what happens? Different people will be using that on different people, so it will not be actually a good tool to use. Inconsistent use of measuring standards and lack of training in appraisal techniques may also reduce reliability. Person should be trained also how they have to use this. Different qualities may not be given proper weightage. Factors like initiative are highly subjective and cannot be quantified. Okay, so it should be really reliable, otherwise it is not going to get you what you want. Okay, next, incompetence. Okay, so due to lack of knowledge, inexperience, okay, if the evaluator does not know how to use it, and then it is not going to be effective. It should be handled in an effective way by an evaluator. For that, he should have adequate knowledge and training how to use this. And then negative approach. So performance appraisal loses most of its value when the focus of management is on punishment rather than development of employees. So mostly when you see, if you negative approach, if you're doing performance appraisal just to remove a person, just to terminate a person, just to demote a person, in that case, only for negative this thing, if you're going to use, it is not going to be effective. And it becomes like a punishment to the employee. So it again is a threat to them. Multiple objectives. So raters may get confused to too many objectives or unclear objectives of performance appraisal. So we should not keep or have too many objectives for personal appraisal. Okay, that is the performance appraisal. Then resistant. Trade union may resist some certain kind of group of people. They might resist performance appraisal on the ground that it involves discrimination among its members. So you should never show partiality. Once if it is shown, then it will be not accepted by the employees. Negative ratings may affect interpersonal relations and industrial relations, particularly when employees or unions do not have faith in the system of performance appraisal. So when they know that, they do only basis on their own judgment, they will give favor to their own liked people or for particular religion or caste or how they look based on their beauty. Okay, so if you do, the others will lose the respect. Then lack of knowledge. So the staff of appraisal performance of employees might not be trained and experienced through. So when they're doing, the staff who are involved in doing appraisal, they should be trained and equipped well so as to use this tool appropriately among the people. So these are all the various problems. Mainly we have seen with two. One is errors. So we have seen 6 types of errors that can happen, and lack of reliability. So again, in lack of reliability, it has been incompetence, negative approach, multiple objectives, resistance, lack of knowledge. This follow the lack of reliability. Okay, so these are all different. Okay, so these are all the various problems that a person can actually. So you can see how in errors and what are the other types in the diagram that is given. Okay, so with this we will end for today, and we will see the remaining in the next class.